Time he did a rewind. How cool would that be?
Hang on, did you just shift reality?
Time he did a rewind. How cool would that be?
Hang on, did you just shift reality?
That's funny. I don't know why writers write like this anymore. Okay, to be fair, it's only one line, but like, man, people are so allergic to this specific style of writing. I still don't get it. It's like the Marvel Joss Whedon line. Hang on, did you just... I can fly now? Like, it's that kind of thing. Half of it is the delivery. Yeah, that's true. It would have probably been better if she was like, hang on, did you just shift reality? Like, actual surprise instead of, yeah, well, you know. People don't like that. I don't like that. It's the whole being too pretend self-aware crap. Well, people are like really allergic to sincerity, which really fucking bothers me. What's that line where it's like, give me drama, give me death, but by God, follow it up with a joke? That. People are really allergic to sincerity, so if an emotion gets held for too long without it being broken up by a wisecrack, people get uncomfortable. The problem is that being uncomfortable is a legitimate and valid emotional experience in some contexts. Like, discomfort is a fine thing in many artistic... Like, that's fine. That's part of the human experience. So, yeah, people always, like, break that up with wisecracks and stuff. It's frustrating because you can write in jokes in dark moments or in serious moments without it breaking the tone like that, but yeah, you have to be careful with it. Vaush, yep, Across the Spider-Verse was fine with having uncomfortable moments. Oh, yeah. So, no spoilers. In fact, at the end of Across the Spider-Verse, in a scene that I'm not going to describe even remotely, for those of you who have watched it, you'll remember the last few minutes of Across the Spider-Verse is completely tonally consistent from beginning to end with no breakup at all. No joke or little bit that pulls away from the tone that was otherwise consistent. Chat, hypers if you know exactly what I'm referring to. Yeah, there we go. No spoilers. Thank you. Yeah, I gotta watch The Sopranos. I don't even know anything about it. I don't even know the name of the characters. I want to watch it. Wasn't Sopranos like the intro to prestige television? Didn't it start that whole trend? Yeah, I gotta watch it. I should watch it, yeah. Though weirdly, the older I get, I feel like the less I like sad stuff. I couldn't even watch the 3rd season of The Boys. It's not that I mind stuff that's darker or serious, but there are sometimes it's like I walk away from something and it's like, I don't know, kind of doomer tonally. Maybe it's because I'm fed up with it in my political life, where there are so many problems we have to deal with, and I get really tired of people who are obstacles for their abstemiousness. And when I see stuff that feels like it hits those beats tonally in media, because a lot of The Boys is basically like, you're f***ed and there's nothing you can do about it, right? For everything the protagonists in The Boys gain, they lose a bunch more. There's like the obstacles in front of them are so large that it's and it reaffirms that constantly. And that's not bad. That's not bad media at all. I'm not criticizing it. I'm just saying that for me personally, it's something that tends to make me feel negative in a bad way, not in like a, you know, consuming the media, engaging with the material kind of stuff. I mean, isn't that just tragedy stories? Well, tragedy and that kind of sadness are two different things. It would be like it's like the difference between tragedy and defeatism, or tragedy and like pessimism, I think. Yeah, pessimism. That's the thing that I don't care for. Tragedy is fine. Breaking Bad is tragic. It's literally a Greek tragedy. It's formatted and framed in that way. It makes sense when viewed that way. It's plenty sad, but it's not pessimistic. And in fact, I'd argue that it's a fairly optimistic story, if read the right way. I have not watched The Wire. It's on my list. It's on my list. I keep meaning to. I think what you're talking about is a grimdark genre. No. Grimdark is fine, because grimdark, just by way of the term, grimdark is not self-serious. Like 40K is not self-serious. if you're like playing or reading or watching 40K media or whatever, it's all deliberately self-satirical, and that's why it's so over the top. At least most people get that. Some idiots don't, but usually they're conservative, so they're not real people. Yeah, but that doesn't give me like a pessimistic feeling or whatever. Is that true, Demon Mama? Okay, well shit, if you really think so, that's a pretty strong recommendation. I do like me some Breaking Bad. That's the kind of tragedy that I really, really enjoy. I really like it, and this is why Breaking Bad's my favorite show. Maybe there are other shows that do this better. Again, I don't watch that much television, but one of the things that I really like to see is when all of the things that happen are like dominoes falling. The cool thing about Breaking Bad is that basically everything that happens, good or bad, is a direct consequence of something that's been established before. Meaning that there's very rarely any kind of ass pull where they're just like, oh, and then this happens or whatever. It all feels like a logical consequence. And you feel like watching it a second time, if you're feeling particularly aware or like a little paranoid, you think like, oh, holy shit, this was all a bad decision. Like, oh my God, like, because rewatching it, because the first time you're kind of caught up in Walter being, a badass and smart and blah, 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 whatever, all the comedy and hijinks. But rewatching it, there were a million stops on this ride, and he missed every one of them. Every single time. Every time he missed them. Because we got caught up the way he did. And that's the point, right? Like, you sympathize with Walt as a character, but, like, he's a terrible person and made lots of bad decisions, a lot of which he only realized later. Or never did. And he just coasted through it until he died. Spoilers. He has cancer. It's also why Berserk has to have a happy ending. I would agree. Maybe this sounds kind of like twee of me, but I do think that it is narratively essential that Berserk has something approximating a happy ending. Maybe not like conventionally happy, but it has to be some kind of happy or uplifting. I don't know what the point of the story would be otherwise. Characters suffering for no reason is like baby shit. Wow, welcome to fucking middle school. Here's your AO3 account. People suffering for no reason. Wow. I think it takes real artistry to make suffering meaningful. And I think in the best media where people suffer, it's either there's something to learn from it or it's because of mistakes they made. There's something you can look at and engage with more than just sympathizing with the suffering or laughing at it if they're a bad character, whatever else. Like, there's more to it than that. There's something of substance there. And I think when it comes to Berserk, a lot of the suffering that Guts has gone through is horrible in a cathartic way, in the sense that it's just emotionally gratifying to see experiences of that severity being had by a character. But in a thematic sense, it's for something. And what Guts clearly needs is to plow the out of Casca on, like, inside of a cabin that he's built on a cliffside overlooking a field. That's obviously what he needs on a spiritual level. And then to grow old together and die. Yeah. Yeah, he needs to mating press her, screaming, get pregnant, and just do that for 60 years until they both die of old age. That's clearly what his soul needs. So, so I hope he gets it. Is AOT like what you're talking about? I do think that AOT leans a little bit too much into the suffering for suffering's sake. A lot of the anime and manga on an emotional level are just going, whoa, I didn't think they'd kill them. Wow, that's like 6 minutes of them bleeding out, huh? Which, I'm not saying that's bad. But I do think more meaning could have been infused into some of this. Because some of the suffering is really, really good, right? Like, if you remember watching or reading Attack on Titan, there are elements of suffering there that are like thematically really rich and rewarding, and I think those are perfectly fine. What did you think of Devilman Crybaby? I assume you mean the new one and not the original that came out 5,000 years ago. I thought it was really good. I like Devilman Crybaby a lot. It wasn't as good as I thought it was on first watch, but it was very good. I liked it a lot. I do think it gets better in that respect, 7X, but I understand what you mean. The final moment of the story will be Guts being forced to make the terrible choice between finally killing Griffith or finally banging Casca. No, well, first of all, they have banged. But second of all, I think the final choice for Guts will be whether he's going to do the mating press, plap, 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 get pregnant with Casca or Griffith. That seems like the logical conclusion to the story, right? Like, he has to make the hard decision. Why not both? Well, Griffith raped Casca, so, Maybe she's still mad about that. I would be, personally. Also, he killed like 1 billion people. That's also bad. I think. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to make predictions on how fucking Berserk ends. People have been doing that for decades. But Vaush Griffith literally ended racism and beat the Demon King. Yeah. I disagree, Vaush. Let's not forget there are other gods standing. He has to kill them all. Guts? I feel, man, at this point, I feel like Guts could probably kill at least 2 or 3 of the God Hand in his current, like, level of strength. Because think about it. Griffith, when made manifest in the physical world, is divinely powerful, like insanely powerful. But when the whore princess made herself manifest in the physical world, she like actually got dispelled by being stabbed, you know? Griffith is way stronger. Yeah, Slan, yeah. Guts is, you know, whore princess? Slan, whore princess of the uterine sea. Read Berserk! Are you not reading Berserk? It's literally like the most influential manga. Come on, what are you, seriously? That was before the world merger, though? I guess that's true, yeah. She'd probably be stronger now. If Guts still can't beat Slan, then how the fuck is he ever going to beat Griffith? Is it going to be one of those, like, he beats Griffith by being sad in front of Griffith? That's what it's going to be, isn't it? Because they met at the field of swords that were planted there of the Band of the Hawk, and Griffith felt a thump in his chest when he saw Guts, and Guts is going to, like, lose the fight to Griffith, but then he's going to look up with his big sad boy eyes, and then Griffith's going to have a heart attack or something. I don't know. Yeah, I guess that's true. Do I have to buy all the volumes of Berserk? I'm sure there's, like, an online service you can read them through, like a subscription thing. Do Guts and Griffith have any kind of romantic feelings for each other in the story? Yes. I don't know how else you could read it. That's something people argue over, but I think there's basically an objective answer. It's really, really difficult to not think that, I think. Like, I think you have to be misreading the text almost to think otherwise. I think it's one way. It might be one way, but it's at least one way. It's at minimum one way. I think it's 2 ways. But at minimum 1. Guts is into women? Well, I'm into women. People into women would bang Griffith, okay? What are you talking about? What, like, that's an impediment. Jesus. Oh, sorry, fucking Griffith, demon lord, ruler of the world, blah, 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 blah. I can't bang you. I'm into women. You know, the way you look, you're just not selling me on the, you know, you're just too masculine. She's fucking ridiculous. Jesus Christ. Did I just say she? Yeah, whatever. Who cares? Trans allegory it all you want. Okay, I don't believe in biological pronouns for anyone except Griffith, okay? If it's the hair, all right? If your hair looks like that, you're a she-her to me, sorry. If your hair is white and you glow a little bit, Guts will end up getting cucked by Griffith? No, Guts is getting cucked by Casca. Why do you think Griffith raped her? Like, you know that's why, right? Like, during the eclipse, Griffith raped Casca while making eye contact with Guts. That wasn't Griffith on Casca, that was Griffith on Guts. Spoilers? That's like 1/20th into the story. That's the end of the Golden Age arc. It's 30 years old, and that's the end of the Golden Age arc. Everyone knows about the eclipse. Can we not even talk about the eclipse? No, it's not. It's like chapter 90. It's the eclipse! The Berserk is like the most influential manga, and the eclipse is the most well-known part of that manga. Okay.